Hey friends, I wanted to tell you about 3 ideas that I think can really change your life, and they've made a big impact on my life in particular. So the first idea is this idea of goals. We have these goals that we want to commit to and that we want to accomplish, and typically what ends up happening is we set a goal for ourselves, we try to move toward it, and something derails us. And maybe we try again the next week and try again in the next week until hopefully we succeed. And that's a totally fine strategy, but there's a better way of thinking about it. And this idea really fucking changed the way that I do things. It was just very monumental for me. And it's the idea of not committing to a goal, but committing to the distress of the goal. So what that might mean is, at least for me, I'm actively doing this project right now. And every time I'm hitting a roadblock, I know what my goal is. I want to edit these videos and get them out each week and build this other channel. But every time I'm hitting a roadblock, my impulse is to be like, fuck this. I'd rather do something else. I'll watch a new show or I'll do whatever. And that is now clicking into my brain of, okay, distress. Cool. I'm feeling distress. I'm not going to take this distress personally or as some kind of indicator of what is good and true. I'm going to take it as the thing that I'm committing to. So every time I experience distress in this project that I'm editing, that is my sign to continue. I'm committing to experiencing and going through that distress. And I think the reason this is so powerful is because anytime that we have a goal, generally speaking, the thing that sets us back is our relationship with the distressing aspects of completing that goal. So, because everybody can do goals and complete goals that feel good, but it's when things start feeling shitty that most people bow out. But if you, instead of committing to a specific outcome, commit to the distress inherent in that outcome, then there's not really any goal that you can't achieve. You just have to be willing to commit to the most distressing parts of that goal. So that's it. The second big idea that I've learned is that you can choose to disregard your feelings. Now, most people think of their feelings, they don't really think about their feelings or their relationship with their feelings in any kind of a deep, insightful, or inquisitive way. They just kind of think, I feel this, so it must mean something. And as you dig deeper into how feelings emerge, constructive theory of emotion, or whatever it is, you'll start to realize that feelings don't really mean anything. They can say something significant. They always mean something insofar as they're happening in the result of something happening inside of you, some physical, mental, or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's up to you whether or not you want to endorse a feeling or disregard it. And this is so fundamentally huge because some things will start to happen to you in your life, and you might notice yourself in patterns in relationships or whatever, at work or whatever, and you think, God, I fucking hate it when I feel this way. And then as you start to maybe fall into slumps, or as you start to kind of, experience emotions that are difficult, you can start to practice the act of saying to yourself, you know what? I actually don't have to go along with this line of thinking. I can choose to not endorse this line of thinking. I can choose to not endorse the idea that because I'm not being productive today, I'm somehow, that I should feel bad or guilty. I can choose not to endorse that feeling of guilt, and instead decide to endorse a feeling of, gratitude for giving myself a chance to relax. Or something like that. So understanding that your feelings are really, they're more of, think about them as biological suggestions. It's not gospel. It's not something that's set in stone. It's definitely not a good idea to completely ignore your feelings or repress your feelings. But it's very important to understand that as your feelings emerge, you have the choice as an autonomous observer and experiencer of your feelings to decide which feelings are the most useful for you in that moment. And the last big idea, did I just cancel out of this? No, I didn't. The last big idea is that empathy can fundamentally change your life. A lot of people that are into relationships and are sensitive people, they think that they have empathy, but a lot of these people, myself included, they're just kind of overly self-fascinated. And it definitely, thinking and feeling and examining reaches diminishing returns really fucking quickly. So one of the things that I would challenge you to do, that I've challenged myself to do and seen immediate results, it's just when you see somebody, or when you're interacting with a parent or a friend or a lover or a coworker or whatever, think about try and remove yourself from the equation and think about, what does this person need? If I was to like facilitate a structure of this person feeling relaxed and feeling capable and feeling like I was a teammate or an advocate to them, and with the assumption that they are good, that most people are just good people, and that it just takes a certain level of understanding to see where they're coming from. So when you bring that in, it's like, okay, like for instance, today I have this this girl coming over, and we've dated before in the past, and I kind of have some thoughts on how things should move forward between us. But my goal with her is just to make sure that she has a comfortable, relaxing experience, to make sure that she doesn't feel pressured, to make sure that, you know, that I've put in real thought as to what kind of experience would be good for her to have. What would be like an optimal interaction between us. And then now I'm trying to lay the groundwork. And then in thinking about what she wants, I also kind of buffer it with what I want and what my needs are. And at any given moment, it just kind of takes you out of your myopic view of things. And even when you're thinking about, like, if you're in an argument with your friend, it's taking that 1 second to like really actively put yourself in his brain, and then at the very least, even if you don't feel the way that they feel, be able to speak about the way that they feel. Like, hey man, I understand that if I was you right now, I would be super confused about the fact that I'm being so aggressive and upset about this, and that would throw me off. But I really want you to just understand that, like, you know, this is why this thing is throwing me off, and I'm hoping that we can meet in the middle on this, or something like this. Anyways, that was a bad example. But the big takeaway here is that empathy is like it's a superpower. It's a way of forgetting about yourself, and it's a way of orienting behavior, as opposed to just constantly like going off the whims of your feelings on a day-to-day basis, or being around somebody and being completely self-obsessed. And it's so ironic, because as you forget yourself, as yourself becomes less important, you become more available for other people, and therefore you end up liking yourself more. It's really fucking weird. Anyways, those are 3 ideas that can change your life, and have certainly changed mine.